I bought 2 lottery tickets at the gas station. One hit for $1 million, the other hit for 10 million. I had barely handed the $1 million ticket to my parents before they lost their damn minds, immediately carving up the loot like a pack of hyenas. We're keeping half of this million for our retirement, my dad declared, eyes wide with greed. The other half goes to your sister Ashley. Then he glanced at me like he was being generous. And since we're doing better financially now, we'll lower the rent you pay us. $200 less per month. My fingers tightened inside my pocket. I had been about to pull out the second ticket, the $10 million one. Instead, I slowly let go, pressed the fabric flat against my thigh, and smoothed the wrinkles out of my cheap nursing uniform. I watched them celebrate. I listened as they divided my money like it already belonged to them. Something inside me went quiet in a way it never had before. What was I supposed to say? I had always been the extra child, the disappointing one, the daughter who tried to earn love by being obedient. I was stupid enough to tell them right away, thinking maybe this time they would be proud of me. What a joke. My fingers brushed the crisp edge of the larger ticket again. Then I turned and walked toward my room. It was time to pack and leave. My mother noticed and frowned. Chloe, where are you going? Didn't you hear your father? You'll be paying less rent next month. She clutched the ticket like it was sacred, eyes bright and unhinged. Yet, she still looked at me with the same familiar disgust. I'm not paying you anything anymore, I said calmly. Then I pointed at her hand. And when you're done admiring that ticket, give it back. She froze. My father stared at me like I'd lost my mind. What did you just say? I said, give it back. My voice didn't shake. It was steadier than it had been in my entire life. It took a moment for it to sink in. When it did, their faces darkened. My mother rushed at me screaming. Are you insane? You want to keep the whole million for yourself? Do you have any idea how much we spent raising you? And now you want to steal from your own parents? A dry laugh slipped out of me. I didn't even know why I was laughing. Maybe it was the absurdity of my life. What did it actually cost to raise me? In elementary school, I wore worn-out canvas shoes with holes in them, hand-me-downs from Ashley, even though she was younger. They were too small. My toes bled through the fabric. In middle school, Ashley went to a private academy. Dad drove her every morning. I walked nearly an hour to public school, soaked when it rained because no one bothered to pick me up. In high school, we finally got a computer. Everyone knew the password except me. I had to ask permission to use it, and only when they were in a good mood. College never happened. I got accepted into a state university, but they forced me into a cheap nursing program so I could earn money faster. Now I work endless shifts in a rundown hospital cleaning messes no one else wants to touch. I earn $300 a month. They take $2,200, and I was supposed to be grateful for a $200 discount. I nodded slowly. Yes, I'm keeping it. Give it back or I call the police. 1 million or 10 million. It's all mine. The word police flipped a switch. My father grabbed a wooden chair and swung it toward me. You ungrateful animal. You think you can threaten us? My mother shoved the ticket into her pocket and jabbed a finger in my face. You think a little money makes you special? You've lived off us for years. Even 10 million wouldn't repay what you owe us. I didn't move. I felt nothing. No fear, no anger. That scared me more than their shouting. I used to cry. I used to beg for affection. I used to believe if I tried harder, they would love me. But now there was only emptiness. Maybe the money changed me. Or maybe it just woke me up. They didn't deserve me. I was suddenly rich. And they were just bitter, selfish people who had spent decades breaking me down. Why did their approval matter? I've been giving you $2,200 a month for years, I said, holding out my hand. That debt is paid. Give me the ticket or I call 911. My father lunged at me, hand raised. Instinct made me flinch. Before he could hit me, my mother grabbed him and whispered urgently. If she calls the police, we lose everything. Don't touch her. She's not the same today. Let me handle this. My mother was a master at this. She knew exactly when to soften her voice and switch faces. Every time I complained, she gave me just enough affection to keep me quiet. Told me she loved me, but that Ashley was younger, so I had to sacrifice. I always swallowed it. She tried again. She pushed my father into a chair, forced a gentle smile, and approached me. Chloe, sweetheart, why are you so upset? You won the lottery. This should be a happy moment. We were just overwhelmed. How about this? Out of the million, we'll give you 50,000. Think of it as money for your future marriage. I felt sick. 50,000. That was all I was worth. 5%. Looking at my father's angry face and my mother's fake smile, my stomach twisted. I barely made it to the bathroom before throwing up. She called my name once. Then she stopped caring. I cried quietly, realizing I had reached the end of something. There's a saying that some people are parents only by blood, not by love. I had never been able to cut them off before, but holding on only meant more pain. 25 years was enough. I cleaned my face and stepped out. Before entering the living room, I heard my mother on the phone, excited and frantic. Yes, Ashley won $1 million. We're saving half for retirement, and the rest is for you to start that business you wanted, the bubble tea shop. Come home quickly. Your sister is acting unstable and trying to keep everything. My father added loudly. Once we cash it, we'll take you to Aspen. You've always wanted to ski. No, not Chloe. She can't miss work. I stood there silently. They fully intended to steal it. And then I understood something. That ticket could destroy them. I took out my phone, started recording, and walked back into the room. They ended the call immediately and pasted on smiles. Feeling better? My mother said, reaching for my hand. I pulled away. When do I get my ticket back? I asked clearly. That money is mine. She laughed stiffly. We're family. Money belongs to the household. Yes. My father agreed. Family money. I shook my head. I bought the ticket on December 13th at the gas station on 5th Street. I have the receipt. Legally, it's mine. Still, I'm willing to share. I'll give each of you $10,000. That was enough. My father exploded, trying to kick me. I barely dodged. My mother screamed, "Get out. This is my house. You're no longer welcome here." They finally snapped. Perfect. Fine, I said. This place isn't my home anymore. You have 1 month to return the ticket. If you don't, I called the police. 1 month. Plenty of time for them to spend money they didn't own. And when it disappeared, that's when the real consequences would start. I rolled my suitcase out the front door. From the porch, I could hear my father sneering behind me. Let her take us to court. Lottery tickets belong to whoever holds them. Let's see what she can do, and we'll cash it tomorrow. Let her scream in the streets. She'll come crawling back when she's out of money. I didn't glance back. The next steps were simple. First, I cashed the $10 million ticket. After taxes, I walked away with about $6.5 million. $6 million wasn't billionaire level, but for me it was freedom. I bought a beautiful villa on the edge of town, tucked away from prying eyes. 2 stray cats and a golden retriever claimed it as their new home, and I planted roses along the driveway. And yes, I quit my job. No more night shifts, no more endless cleaning. Then I planned a trip skiing. It had always been a dream for Ashley and me, but we couldn't afford it, they had said. Now nobody had been left behind. Fair enough. Except I knew Ashley would soon be on the slopes too. The family was rich now, right? I shook my head and got back to business. A month later, my villa was fully set up. 2 million later, I had a huge backyard and a home that felt like mine. I treated myself to a matte black Mercedes wagon. About $180,000. In our little town, it looked like a tank. The rest of the money went into the bank. Then Mom called. Immediately, she started screaming. "Chloe, you quit your job. I went to the hospital today and they told me you're gone. How are you going to pay your monthly contribution now?" She seriously thought I was bluffing. I sipped my latte, checked my calendar, and stayed calm. Tomorrow's the deadline. When are you returning the ticket? I'm talking about your job, you dumb asterisk. Stop bringing up the ticket. Her voice was sharp, spitting anger into the phone. I already told you I'm keeping my money. My career isn't your concern. I stuck to my guns tomorrow noon. If the ticket isn't back in my hands, see you at the police station. I could hear Mom coughing with rage, Dad cursing in the background. And then Ashley's voice popped in. "Oh Chloe, why are you fighting with Mom and Dad? Come on." Her tone was sugary sweet fake. "The money is for the family. Mom set aside $50,000 for your diary. You'll get it when you marry. Cheap consolation. Last warning. Noon tomorrow. Police." I didn't budge. Ashley's sweetness evaporated instantly. She laughed thinly and mockingly. "Chloe, we already cashed it. $700,000 after taxes. I took $350 to open my boutique. It opens next week. Mom and Dad kept the rest for retirement, but they didn't like the old house, so they made a massive down payment on a condo. The money's gone. Every cent gone. Perfect. Absolutely perfect." I smiled. A real genuine smile. Ashley's face appeared again on the screen. Snow behind her. "Look sis. Finally on the slopes. We flew in yesterday. The lodge is crazy expensive." Mom and Dad were beside her, decked in brand new ski gear, smiling like a commercial family. I watched. Cool me. Ashley wanted me to break, to scream like I did in middle school when she got her way and I was humiliated, but I didn't. I wanted to laugh. "Wow, you're calm. You should be happy for me. I'm living our dream." She gushed, waving the camera around. Mom leaned into view, still sulking. "We could have invited you, but since you quit your job, we left you behind." I smiled. "I found a new job. Pays $5,000 a month." Her eyes lit up. Dad's face turned from lurking in the background to interested. $5,000? Finally doing something right? He shouted. Mom nodded. "Good girl. Since you're earning more, maybe you can contribute more. How about $4,000 a month?" I shook my head. $4,000 is too low. I keep $500 for myself. They practically drooled, pulling Ashley into the frame. Ask your sister if your shop needs cash. Ashley blinked, nodding eagerly. Okay, thanks sis. I almost vomited but held it together. Oh wait, I said slowly. I make $5,000 but I donate $4,500 to charity. A shelter for stray cats and dogs. I keep $500 for food. Their greedy smiles vanished instantly. Storm coming. I didn't want to listen to their whining, so I prepared to hang up. Can't chat. Need to buy Wagyu for the dogs. Bye. Pets eat better than you people. Suck it. I ended the call, leaving them furious. They tried calling back immediately, FaceTime, voice calls, but I ignored everything. This was just the appetizer. The main course was coming. By 3 that afternoon, an unknown number called Mom. Chloe, did you actually call the cops? You traitor. You shameless little. Dad and Ashley shouted in the background. I guess they borrowed a stranger's phone on the mountain. Just cooperate with the investigation. That's all. Bye. I hung up, blocked the number, and went to feed the dog and hug my cat. The next few days were a blur of police visits. The case involved a domestic dispute over massive sums, so it was complicated. The terrible trio stayed away at first. Back in town, they were hiding. Rumor had it they were badmouthing me to relatives, claiming they were downing me. I didn't care. I had time. The detective gave me the green light. My audio recording combined with the purchase records made the case airtight. Later that night, Mom texted me from a burner. Chloe, you're heartless. Ashley used half the money for her shop. We used the rest for the condo. The money's gone. How can we pay you back? Want to ruin Ashley's business and make us homeless? Is that what you want? Yes. I would be ecstatic. When I didn't respond immediately, she sent a final threat. Last chance. Drop it and we'll forgive everything. Pretend it never happened. Pretend. I typed back. Go under yourself. Of course, this wasn't going to be over so easily. I held all the leverage. The court would be on my side. $700,000 plus interest and legal fees had to be returned. If they refused, their assets could be frozen. Their credit would be ruined. No more luxury ski trips. They'd be lucky to scrape together a bus fare. Feeling unstoppable, I drove my G-Wagon into town to witness the chaos firsthand. A new sign caught my eye. Boutique for sale/lease transfer. Ashley appeared carrying a box of decorations looking like a ghost. Pale lips, hollow eyes. Stress had carved her down to a shell. Her gaze landed on my car. She froze then stormed toward me screaming, Chloe, you evil. Look at what you've done. Are you here to laugh at me? You sold out your family for money. I have to sell my shop just to cover the debt. Mom and Dad are losing the condo at a loss. They can't sleep. Does that money let you sleep at night? I asked casually. Yes, I added, grinning. Like a baby, I leaned out the window. If they're having trouble sleeping, tell them to pick up a night shift. Pays more. Helps them pay off debt faster. And you? Probably too toxic to get a real job. Keep selling tea. If that shop fails, I'll get you a tricycle for the sidewalk. Consider it a startup loan. Her eyes went red. What's the point of winning? You're alone. Nobody wants you. You don't even have a home. Probably couch surfing. Forever unlovable trash. They'll pay you back. Then life will go back to normal. You'll still be miserable. She put Mom and Dad on speaker, demanding they deal with me. Dad's voice crackled through, full of venom. Chloe, you think debt scares us? We have family. We'll borrow the money and pay you off. You're dead to us. They still assumed I cared about their so-called family. I shook my head, laughing. Good luck with your fundraising. I won't bother you animals anymore. I rolled up the window and drove off. Ashley stood frozen, mouth open, eyes wide with disbelief. I hummed a tune to myself. This wasn't just gloating. It was bait. If 700,000 didn't crush them, 10 million might. They had no idea about the second ticket yet, but in a small town, rumors travel fast. My villa and wagon would raise eyebrows soon enough. Why wait? I decided to scatter a few crumbs. When they fell, I wanted them to tumble into a pit so deep they'd never climb out. A few days later, my cousin Justin showed up at the gate. He gawked at the wagon in front of my villa, jaw practically on the floor. Is this yours? He asked, phone in hand, showing me a news article from the State Lottery Commission. A masked figure holding a giant check stared back at us. It was me. 10 million. Wait. I heard about the 1 million. Aunt and uncle are losing it, saying, you stole from them. I nodded. 11 million total. Justin staggered back. Holy, you need a dog walker or maybe a footstool. I'm available. I laughed. Did you come on your own, or were you sent as a spy? Both. I mean, yet they sent me their spiraling Chloe. Losing that money broke them. Just then his phone rang. FaceTime. Mom. Justin looked terrified. Should I answer? Speaker, I said. The screen lit up with Mom's tear-streaked, frantic face. She was scanning the background trying to gauge my wealth. Chloe, are you there? She sobbed. Oh, baby girl, we were wrong. We treated you horribly. We haven't slept. We're worried about you. A hairball erupted from my cat next to the phone. Justin stifled a laugh. Mom pressed on. Come home for dinner tonight, Daddy. And I will cook. Ashley will serve you. We just want to apologize. Oh really? I said, voice thick with sarcasm. Potruast. Potruast. I laughed darkly. Ieta potruast. Remember high school? You made me eat an entire bowl of fatty gristle because Ashley didn't want it. I puked on the floor and Dad punched me for making a mess. Justin winced. Mom's smile faltered. Suddenly, Dad appeared in the frame. Chloe, enough. We apologized. Come home and let us handle your lottery winnings like adults. Greed dripping from every word. I snatched the phone, looked him straight in the eyes. Manage this, Dad. What? Go *CK yourself. I hung up. Justin shook his head in awe. Damn savage. I grinned. Go home, Justin. When I win this war, I'll buy you that Alienware rig you've wanted forever. The war was coming to me. That afternoon, a convoy arrived. My parents, Ashley, and about 15 aunts, uncles, and cousins. The whole circus. They caught me feeding the dog in the front yard, scooping premium Wagyu and caviar into the bowl. I tried the caviar myself. Salty slime. Dog loved it. Oh my God. Ashley shrieked. She's feeding steak to a dog. She wouldn't give us a dime, but she spoils a mutt more than her own family. Mom and Dad pressed their faces to the gate, drooling over the villa and car. I didn't open it. Instead, I called the private security I hired. Open the gate. Dad screamed. You selfish monster. I lounged in a chair, watching them panic. 5 large security guards with tasers arrived. Only then did my parents calm down. Ashley staged her performance. Tears streaming. She called out to the relatives. Uncle Bob and Sarah. Look at this. Chloe stole our money. She's living like a queen while we suffer. Mom and Dad piled on, painting me as a villain. Uncle Bob, family patriarch, tried to look dignified. Chloe, your parents made a mistake with the first ticket, but suing them, ghosting them, that's too far. Family is family. They'd only told him the sanitized version. I stayed silent, letting them rail. Grandma piped up, fragile voice. Chloe, blood is thicker than water. Apologize to your father. Apologize? I stood and walked to the gate. It was time to burn this whole tree to the ground. Uncle Bob, I said loudly. Do you remember when I was 14? You came to school to stop the girls from bullying me. He blinked. Yes. Did it happen again? No. Before that, it lasted 6 months. They put cigarettes out on my chest. Made me lick the soles of their shoes. Silence. 6 months? How? Aunt Carol whispered. Why didn't your parents help? I begged them every day. Dad said he was busy watching TV. Mom said I was being dramatic. I recounted the nights I bled on the floor. The stairs. Dad kicked me down for disturbing him. The relatives were horrified. Dad roared. I'm her father. I can do what I want. She's my property now. She's stealing my money. The crowd murmured in disgust. Feel piety ran deep, but even they were uncomfortable with the lawsuit. Mom tried to salvage it. Okay, we were strict, but we're here to fix it. She stared at me through the bars. Chloe, these are our terms. Hand over the $10 million. Transfer the house and car to Ashley. Drop the $700,000 lawsuit. I laughed. You delusional idiots. I turned to Uncle Bob. Why should I respect her? You're the rich one in the family, but they call you the ATM behind your back. Last Thanksgiving, after you loaned Mom $5 grand, she laughed about how easy it is to scam you. Mom shrieked. Uncle Bob turned purple. I moved to Aunt Carol. Your late husband helped us move, fix plumbing. Mom and Dad called him a peasant. Carol gasped. Then Aunt Sarah. Mom says you're that your kids aren't even your husband's. Chaos erupted. I shouted over the noise. Ashley. Tell Uncle Bob why his son has those scars. Ashley went pale. Uncle Bob froze, staring at Ashley. What about my son? You know how he screams every time Ashley picks him up? I said, voice steady, because she pinches him with sewing needles. Thinks it's funny. I saw her do it last year, I added. Mom and Dad told me to keep quiet or they'd break my legs. Uncle Bob's face went red. You what? He grabbed Ashley's arm. She screamed. Liar. Liar. But guilt shone through her eyes, betraying her. Smack. Uncle Bob slapped her hard. She flew sideways, hitting the metal gate with a clang. I'm done. He barked at my dad. Frank, you're done. Don't ask me for money again. That loan. Consider it called in. Tomorrow. Aunt Carol wiped her tears. You mocked my husband. You're cruel. One by one, the relatives left. Cars peeled out, leaving Mom, Dad, and Ashley behind. Dad spun around, realization hitting him. He had no backup. Rage flared. I'll kill you, you little. He charged the gate. I signaled the guard to open it just a sliver. I stepped out. Dad lunged for me, hands aiming for my throat. I didn't flinch. 25 years of resentment surged into a single strike right between his legs. He gasped, collapsed, vomiting on the driveway. You hit me, he wheezed. Feels awful, doesn't it? I smirked. Mom rushed, but the guard held her back. Step aside. I walked over to Ashley, who clutched her bleeding lip. I hate you, she hissed. I hope you die. I leaned close. Funny story, sis. I opened my banking app, showing her the balance. $6,450,000. Her jaw dropped. I was going to give it to you, I said smoothly. When I came home that day, I had both tickets. 1 million for mom and dad, 10 million for you. I just wanted a hug, but you got greedy over $200. I laughed softly. You lost 10 million. Over $200. Ashley went blank, brain crashing. No, she whispered. No. She turned on mom and dad, screaming, kicking dad while he lay on the ground. You idiots. You greedy morons. You cost me my fortune, I said flatly. Leave my property or the dogs get the next bite. I turned and walked back into my villa. Come here, kitty. Daddy's home. 6 months passed. I traveled Vegas, Paris, Tokyo, sushi until I couldn't move. Lost a few grand gambling and laughed at it. Finally, I returned to my villa. Justin was there gaming and house-sitting. Welcome back, queen, he said bowing. That Alienware rig is epic. What's the gossip? I asked. It's biblical, he grinned. Court seized everything since no one could lend them money. Condo sold at a loss. Boutique gone, parents blacklisted. They rented a crappy apartment in the slums. First night, dad burned the place down trying to fry a turkey. Landlord sued them hardcore. And Ashley, she stole whatever cash was left, around 5 grand, and fled to LA. New number gone. Mom's a street sweeper. Dad does construction day labor. Zombies, basically. I lean back on my Italian leather sofa. Perfect. Thanks, Justin. Go buy a new mouse. Weeks later, I drove through the rough part of town in my wagon. At a red light, I noticed an old woman in a neon vest sweeping the gutter, hacking up something nasty. Beside her, an old man munched on a crusty piece of corn he probably found in the trash. It was them. They recognized the car. Mom dropped the broom and ran, slamming her filthy hands on my window. Chloe, help us. Dad limped up, collapsing onto the curb. Please, we're starving. Just $100. Anything. I cracked the window an inch. Oh, daughter. Thank God. We knew you wouldn't abandon us. Mom sobbed, tears streaking dirt across her face. I handed over a black trash bag from the passenger seat. Dad's eyes lit up. Cash. Thank you. He ripped it open. A stench hit them. Used kitty litter, old coffee grounds, rotten banana peels spilled across their laps. I forgot to take out the trash, I said sweetly. Thanks for handling that for me. Green light. I slammed the accelerator. The wagon roared, leaving my parents kneeling in garbage, screaming at the sky. I checked my reflection in the sun visor. Still looked fabulous. Dinner, lobster, steak, whatever. I'd eat it in peace. The moral of the story is if your parents treat you like a human ATM, make sure you're the kind of ATM that dispenses literal trash instead of cash. Also, the best way to handle toxic garbage in your life is to put it in a black bag and hand it back to the source.